Why is it so hard to admit that you don't like what you're doing? You don't like the relationship you're in. You don't like the job that you're working. You don't like the college that you're attending. Everything is just a waste. Okay, we said it. We don't like it. I want you to ask the question, are the things in your life draining you? Does it drain you? Now, this is a complicated question to ask because oftentimes it means that we have to be honest. We have to sit there and actually acknowledge the fact that we've been in a situationship for 4 years. Yeah, you guys put a label on it, but it's not going anywhere. Not to mention, you thought that your prospects of going to this high level university, they were going to determine how you're going to be in the world. Then you got it. It was a piece of paper. And now it is what it is. I remember thinking that my big break was going to be high school for some reason. That was really where I was going to turn heads. But I was performing for everybody around me. And there kind of came a point where I also had to ask myself, after 22 years of just living life through somebody else's lens, does it drain me? Does the way that you're living drain you? Does the fact that you're deeply unhappy with your habits, with your lifestyle, and you're being pulled by your friends to just live a little, does that drain you? Do you have like something you actually really want to do? Maybe it's artistic, maybe it's career focused, maybe you just want to go fishing and none of your friends like to fish and they keep telling you how lame that is. And so you're spending all of your time doing things you don't really care about just to appease a group of people that at the end of the day just does not care about you. Does it drain you? What does being drained even feel like? How can we know? In a world where all of our energy is taken from us all the time, and I don't mean like, every moment, but we willingly give it up. It's cuz I don't know, most of us are doing stuff that we could really care less about. And so we find other ways of getting our dopamine and getting the things that we need. Do you like how you spend your time? Because the way that I was spending mine, I could care less about it. Now, it's easy to just explain, yeah, I don't like the way that I am right now. I don't like the fact that my friends aren't really people that inspire me and my life is kind of mid, right? But making a change, nobody tells you how lonesome that is. You're on your own. At least you think you are. That's kind of the short term idea, is that if I change, I will lose everything I have. And that's a very scary thought to have. But rarely does our mind think of everything we could gain if we focused on the things that don't drain us. I think that when you double down on hobbies, talents, or just like, I don't know, places that inspire you and people that make you want to A, work harder, be a better person, and C, just move with more intention, your life opens up in ways that you could have never imagined. I've taken a few risks in my life already. I've moved around a lot, and I've learned that every time that I do this, I don't lose much, but maybe some money sometimes, and some FOMO. That's about it. Other than that, all the experiences that I have, all of the moments outside of my comfort zone, they build my character and they make me a better person. And they excite me and they energize me. I'm in Prague right now. I'm doing a road trip with my good friend Igor from Poland. And I feel energized. I maybe slept 6 hours, but I am full of energy. I'm excited to be here. I want to be here. There's a difference between the way I feel now and the way that I felt in college, where honestly, I just didn't know where my place was in this world. I was seeing how people were living life around me, and it was draining. It was draining. That just wasn't my crowd. That wasn't my scene. But I'm happy I was, in retrospect, that I was there. How do you find things that energize you? especially when maybe you've been living your entire life for your parents or you've been living your entire life for your friend group. Well, it's not an easy thing to do, let me tell you. And I think you should realize that so you don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. It takes time. That's the main thing. You won't know it right away. But also, it takes deliberately going places that are the opposite of who you are, the opposite of what you're doing right now, having experiences that test you as a human being. Maybe for you, that means befriending somebody who maybe dresses a little darker, right? And maybe they like 9-inch nails or something fire, and being open to learning more about their music taste or learning more about the scene that they're in and the concerts that they go to. Maybe for you, it means finally taking up that one friend on that offer of going on a run or going on a hike, even though you don't really do that and you're not really a big fan of running or hiking. At the end of the day, what do you have to lose? Maybe a little bit of time. But if you know right now that the way that you're spending your time is draining you, maybe it's just worth giving a shot. Maybe it's not. Maybe you'll go and have that experience and do that thing and you'll realize that doesn't fix anything. But at least you know. What I see a lot of people doing is just quite frankly living in fear and being naive. Just being like, I wouldn't like that. Okay, well, have you tried it? No, but I know I wouldn't like that because I'm not that kind of person. But you haven't tried it. So how are you to judge that that's just out of the picture entirely? I don't know. I think that's where you get stuck with being drained because it's easy. When you follow a group, when you follow a crowd, when you follow the things that are happening just in your circle, in your town, in your family, the expectations are pretty low. You just do what you're told, you just do your thing, and it's cool. But for some people, that fills up their bucket. That makes them happy. You know, they don't really need much, and that's great. Maybe that's you. Cool. But for those of you that know that the way that things are right now, if they were to stay that way forever, it would be the worst thing ever, then you got to change. Nobody's going to do it for you. I wish that people could do it for you, but that's just not how it works. You need to do something. And a good way of starting that change is by asking the question of, does what you're doing right now drain you? What's the goal behind what you're doing? Why are you studying what you're studying? Why are you interested in the crowd that you're interested in? What do they bring you? Like, where is the value coming into your life? And I know that sounds, kind of transactional. It's like, oh, you got to be a little bit selfish. You got to look out for yourself, bro. Your time is insanely valuable. And if you just squander it, I mean, it's not like it's going to be the end of the world, but you're always going to be wondering what you could have done. Now, you have to be careful. What I have also seen a lot of my friends do is become so obsessed with the fact that they only live once and they only have so much time, and that they need to obsessively grind and they need to obsess over health, lifestyle, all of these things. And hey, if that is genuinely something that excites you and makes you feel good and energizes you and doesn't drain you, that is awesome. But it is not by any means the standard. It's not. You waking up at 5 a.m. and doing a cold plunge and going on a 5-mile run and then hitting the awesome, influencer gym after your 12-hour deep work sesh, not everyone can do that, okay? Let alone not everyone, has it in them, the passion and the energy to live that life and to actually be like, oh, this is sick, this is awesome. Like, if it's not exciting you, then you got to find your own version of that, because there is probably a very similar lifestyle you can live, or very similar things, hobbies, activities, sports that would energize you and make you feel really good. Something I really want to do, which I haven't done for so long, is get back into playing soccer. I haven't played football, a game of footy, in probably a year, and I miss it. I miss it because it really energized me. It like got rid of any anger or anything because all I focused on was the game and having fun. And I see it sometimes now, like when I get to a point where I'm really anxious or I'm really upset, like I low key wish that I had some kind of outlet other than, being like, rah, and raging to get rid of that. And I don't know. I think it's been like a mental block for me, the idea that, like, no, I don't have the time for it. That's such a dumb excuse that people always use, bro. I don't have the time for it. Some people really do. You're working 3 jobs. All right, you don't have the time for it, right? You got other priorities. But if you have the time for it, like, why not? You can always make the time for the things that you really like. I mean, people do it. It's just sometimes you have to sacrifice something else for it. But right now, like, the other option for me has been, I don't know, sitting and being upset, and that drains me. That's not good for me. It doesn't really benefit me in the way that playing like a good pickup game of footy and being a striker and scoring 4 goals would. I don't know. But trial and error. Trial and error. I'm 24, right? Unk's old. 24 is not old, but Unk is Unk. I probably will be searching till the end of my days for the things that inspire me. Right now, I know that what energizes me and makes me want to keep working and keep having a level head is seeing new places, experiencing new cultures, and talking to people. I love doing all of that. I love writing. I love yapping. These are all things that I have discovered over trial and error. And in some cases, I had to discover on my own. On my own. I had to set the camera up and talk into it. I had to take a pen out and start writing. I had to decide, you know what, this weekend I'm going to go to downtown Chicago by the Metro, and just walk around. I made these decisions with intention and with the idea of just experiencing them with an open mind. But a lot of us close our mind way too early, and we just let ourselves kind of, I don't know, believe that we're this character that we're not because we've been always doing things this way. Change is very difficult. I think that people don't really explain how hard it is to be content with the idea that the environment, the people, I don't know, the person that you are right now can be different. I remember growing up, my parents would always tell me, they're like, don't get too attached to yourself. Like, you will be very different in the next 5 years. And I'd be like, what? Dude, no. Like, I will forever love FIFA and I don't know, be a gamer. Dude, I used to rip FIFA and GTA every day, bro, every day. I never got into shooters, though, bro. I was so bad at, like, Fortnite and all that stuff. Could not hang. Could not hang. But it's true. It's true. And usually change is looked at as like a bad thing. You changed. Why'd you change, bro? You were always supposed to be like the funny person in our friend group. Like, go talk to group leader. It's like, no. You should want to change. I think that your relationship to change should be that you welcome it. Because being open to change and being open to new experiences, you could build yourself into the person that, I don't know, you couldn't even imagine. And that's another thing too. I think that, like, the reason that a lot of these things in our lives drain us is because we have a certain perspective or a certain vision of who we think we should be. Not actually who we want to be, but who we think we should be and how we should look to other people. And I think that does more harm than good, obviously. But even, like, the person that we want to be, sometimes that can be limiting as well. Because what if, like, you really, really want to be a pilot? You really, really want to be a fashion designer. You want to make the next YSL. You want to make the next Gucci, Louis Vuitton. I don't know, right? But you go and you try like designing clothing. You go and you fly. You go on your first like test flight as a amateur pilot, and you realize I don't care about any of this. Like this sucks. Just genuinely like it's whatever. I remember I wanted to be an architect. That was like I was obsessed with the idea that I could make buildings and I wanted to be the next person that would design like the tallest building in the world. I did one like engineering class and I realized it's not for me. I don't like architecture. This is not Unk is not doing this, bro. But that kind of taught me the idea of like, all right, maybe I can let change surprise me. Maybe I can try a bunch of things, be open-minded still, and let the idea of my vision of myself change and pivot a little bit. Because what if I get there and again, I realize that what I'm doing, all the hard years of grinding, blood, sweat, and tears, it drains me. It drains me, and I'm like, I don't want to do any of this. And you know what, Zerky Show, in all honesty, like some of you will realize too, you will do a bunch of things. You will change. You will try a bunch of different jobs. You might even land your dream career, your dream college, whatever. You wanted to be a biologist since you were a little kid. Now you're a marine biologist and you're chilling off the coast of California looking at, sea urchin. Awesome. And you're going to feel drained. And this idea of pivoting and changing and trying something different, you're going to realize that that's just like a normal human thing. It's the one constant that we have, bro, is that things change, right? You don't even keep really like the same look, bro. You get older, right? Like your face changes. I'd hope that your drip is gonna change, Like when I'm an old man, bro, oh, I'm bringing back like Supreme and Jordans. Oh, I'm gonna be the most dripped out 70-year-old, bro. I promise you. But it's just kind of how things are. You will change, and that's a good thing. You won't have the same friends in 5 years. You might have like one or two of the same friends, but yeah, you might lose some of your childhood friends, but you're probably going to gain better friends, better people. That's only if you do things that excite you, though. And that's only if you do things and you're cognizant of the idea that I feel drained by this. I don't think this is for me. There was a very, very, very key defining moment, bro, in the Zerky lore. I'll tell you guys about it. I've talked about it before, but essentially, my dream for a long, long, long time before I did the Zerky Show, before I got into yapping or any of this, I wanted to work for an airline in marketing. That was the idea. I wanted to design airplanes and do a bunch of the cool stuff that you would do at an airline, but I didn't believe in myself enough to do that. So I was like, oh, I'd like to do the marketing for a plane because I know how to work a camera, so I could do that, right? And one summer I grinded the entire summer in college to get a chance at an internship with an airline. I would hit up everybody that worked at this airline from my university being like, can I speak to you just for like a minute? I just want to, 10 minutes of your time. Can you tell me about what you do? Whatever, get some connections. Like I was on the grind, truly. And I got it. I got it offered. I remember I was sitting in this restaurant with my homie, Luis, shout out. And we were eating some Korean barbecue fried chicken. I'll never forget it. We had Korean barbecue and we also had Korean fried chicken. So good. If you haven't had it, tap in, Zerky Show. You need to have Korean fried chicken. It's incredible. We were munching and I got and I was like, oh, unknown caller. I got to take this. Took the call. And the guy on the phone was like, hey, is this Zerky? And I was like, yes, Brent. And he said, listen, we reviewed your application. We reviewed all of your, interview questions, everything. And we would love for you to be a part of our team for this summer's internship here at insert big airline name. Keep them anonymous, out of respect. But no, I got offered the job. And I was grinning, bro. I was like Labubu smiling, at the fact that this opportunity that I wanted so bad was in front of me, and I was so excited for it. But when I really thought about what that opportunity meant, and really what it meant was being on my own, going into an office, working on my own project, and kind of like doing more of the things that I didn't really like that I was doing in my major at school, but I kind of had to do it in order to apply for the job. It made me really ask the question, like, is this going to drain me? And it was the first time I had ever asked that, because in the past I would have been, I would be there tomorrow. Like, I would be in that office ready, like, hello, but I really thought about this, and I was like, okay, will taking this job kind of end the other stuff that I have going for me that's really exciting me? At that time, I was starting to get into what I do right now. But it wasn't concrete. I still had a lot of work to do. I wasn't as good as I am right now at it, which I'm still a newbie, but I was working at that, and that was really, really exciting me and energizing me, and I was waking up every day ready to go, like, excited to do it. And it was probably one of the hardest decisions I had to make in my life, but I had to call bro from the airline and tell him, hey, I'm not going to accept it. I'm sorry. And it's weird. In the moment, it seemed like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Why am I deciding to jeopardize my entire future just because, it doesn't excite me? Like, shouldn't you do things that are hard? And obviously any job is going to be hard. But there's a big difference between having a challenge that feels demanding, and it's hard, and sometimes it's stressful, but knowing at the end of the day that the work you're doing to get around the obstacle or the challenge, it's exciting, it's fun, it's engaging. Maybe it's boring, of course, it's something that you're going to deal with, but there's something more to it that just keeps kind of regenerating your batteries. It's kind of like those hybrid cars that when they go downhill, the battery charges up. It's the same thing. Like, they're still driving, but it's charging up. Versus, like, I knew that doing this job or this position, it was going to be an uphill battle, and I could still do it. But I just said no. And if I had not said no, I don't think I'm talking to you right now, Zerky Show. That's the honest truth. And I think that there's a good chance you're going to have to make a decision like that very soon in your life, where, yeah, there will be an opportunity, there will be a person, maybe in a relationship, that's like, all of your friends are like, they're so hot, why wouldn't you date them? Dude, like, she's the baddest. Oh my gosh, like, he's so cute. But being with them, it's draining. It's just like, it's like a headache. I'm sorry. There are people like that. I'm sorry. They're just draining. They're great. They're probably awesome, but they're draining to be around. You don't know why, but you just, like, when you leave the hangout, the date, the coffee shop, you can breathe again. It's like this, like, weight is lifted off your chest, and you're like, my goodness. And that's fine. Like, it happens. Not everybody who's, picture perfect and on paper is the best is going to be good for you. It's the same thing as, bro, in sports. There's a team that's, like, clearly supposed to win, right? Like, has the upper hand, has the better players. They play the game and they lose. They lose. They get smoked. Sometimes it's not your day. It happens, bro. And that's fine. Sometimes it's just not the right person, and there's not any kind of analytics that you can, look through, or any kind of statistics that you can try to determine, oh, well, this is off with them. No, it's not. It just drains you. Keep moving, because there's somebody out there that doesn't. Man, how many things in your life are you doing for other people? That's something I wonder a lot. I try to do less and less of it. I'm not perfect, bro. I sometimes will be like, oh, I shouldn't do this because what if somebody sees this, or like this might be weird. But I've learned to realize that even in the short term, if something I'm doing is a little bit uncomfortable, but I feel like it is truly me, and it's not coming from a place of trying to like impress somebody else. Maybe in the moment I might be like, oh, a little squirmy, but it'll energize me in the long run. I'll be like happy I did it. We were at dinner yesterday, and I remember there was like a group of people sitting next to us. It was a couple. They're from Spain, España. And I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, I kind of want to say something. I kind of want to be like, hello, or, just ask them where they're from. And I kind of had this thought in my mind that I was like, I was fighting with myself. I'm like, oh, that's not polite. That's not good. Like my grandparents, if I was with them at dinner and somebody came and talked to us, oh, they'd be like, oh, it's so weird. But then I thought deeper to myself, and I was just like, well, do I want to talk to them? Is that something that like I would want to do? Would I be happy if I did that? And I said yes, like unequivocally. I was like, yeah, I would. And so just by chance, a conversation was struck up, and me and Igor, we didn't shoot it down. We were just like, oh, where are you guys from? What's up? And dude, we ended up talking about Prague, beautiful Prague, where I'm in right now, and we got some recommendations of some places that we should see. And they were such a nice couple. We shared a really cool moment. Those kind of interactions, they energize me. Thinking to myself, oh, well, somebody is going to think I'm weird if I go up to them, that drains me a lot. That drains me because it's not really a thought I have in my mind. I truly believe if you go up to somebody with respect and you start a conversation, most of the time people are very receptive to it. And if somebody isn't, they aren't. And that's fine, and you keep moving on, like, because you'll find somebody that is. It's the idea of, I think, abundance too. Like, you can have a lot of these experiences, and some of them might not go as planned. I've had plenty of times where people have been very cold in conversation, but again, putting myself out there and just asking the question, I found out. I got the answer if it were to work or not, instead of just sitting in my mind and being like, oh, well, no, I have to act this way. I have to do this. Another case in point. I'll leave off on this, right? You know what drains me? Traveling and having the entire point of your travels be seeing all of the tourist destinations, all of the things that on every, guide of a city must see of a city you need to see. That drains me. Does it drain you? That drains me so much, Zerky Show. You know what I like to do? And what energizes me and makes me want to keep traveling? Going to a city, walking around, using my eyeballs to just look at the small differences and the people, smell the food, the smells, hang out. I just want to hang out. That excites me and it energizes me. And I'm very, very happy that I have people now in my life that share that kind of same vision of traveling, because it makes it so much more fun and enjoyable. Find those kind of people. The ones that understand the things that you want to do and how you want to live your life. Maybe you're completely opposite to me. You need to see all the tourist things, and it's a speed run every city that you go to, every place that you go to, unlock all the achievements. That's great. No shame in that either. That's awesome. Find those people. Do things with those people. And if those people aren't out there right now in front of you, do it yourself first. Because if you don't do it yourself first, you're not going to meet the people and bump into the people that do those same things. But Zerky Show, again, it all comes down to the idea and the thought of, do the things in your life, do they give you energy? Do they make you feel fulfilled in how you do them? Or does it drain you? Today's episode of The Zerky Show was filmed in Prague, Czechia, as the Euro Tour continues. Man, Prague is beautiful. Huge shout out to Prague. I love the colors of this city. I love the vibe of this city. I love walking in this city. It is so nice. The winding roads. I recommend it. If you're ever in Czechia, come to Prague. Did you know that The Zerky Show is everywhere you go? That is correct. You can watch it, you can scroll, you can stream it. The choice is yours. So if you want to tap in, tap in. Do the things that bring you joy. Yes, you, I'm talking to you. And don't forget to be a nerd. Be a nerd. You like Invincible. You like Marvel. You like Legos. You like Lego Star Wars. You like football. You like basketball. Whatever you like, whatever your passions are, be a nerd. Be passionate about them. We cannot afford to be nonchalant anymore. Zerky Show, if you're trying something new, just know that I believe in you. And as always, I am sending you lots of love and peace.